Ooh.
Lovely, that was lovely.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Who did that?
Thank you.
That could be the start of the video.
Who did
So,
that?
Yeah.
That's the start of this podcast. It's just that
Wow.
bit. We'll start.
That can go with the graphic.
Yeah, that'll just the opening
That's
bit would be just singled out the burp.
And with that being said, welcome to the Randycast, as we're calling it for now.
What?
Yeah, for now. I'm your host, Dave, and this week we're covering things of in the film. That would be Avengers Endgame, and whatever our favourite film is, we'll be talking a bit about that. And we're going to be talking about the PS5 speculations, or specifics, whatever that is. And I'm here with someone.
Chris, aka the Randy Bandit.
Gamgee.
There he is.
Phil, aka Kid Bandit.
Wow.
Apparently we're going for the worst accent tonight. Well done, guys.
Congratulations, Phil.
That's not Samwise Gamgee.
Within my eyes.
Samwise.
At least I spoke normal.
I can't speak no more.
Yeah, Scouts, he can't speak normal ever.
Give me a
I
try.
have a slur.
So what did everyone think of Avengers Endgame?
Absolute masterpiece. I'm not gonna lie.
Would you give it a solid 10 out of 10 though, Sam?
I mean, I'd give Lord of the Rings a 10 out. I'd give Endgame like a 9, I think.
Maybe you're like a sado with Lord of the Rings.
Hey,
So simple.
Lord of
So
the Rings
simple.
is a 10 out
So that
of
actually
10.
means quite a lot.
The Randy Bandit's also a sado then.
Hey, no,
Depends
I
what you
wouldn't
get.
say, I wouldn't say this Asada, I would say,
Legend.
yeah,
Yeah.
No,
Legend of Middle Earth. Thank you.
Oh yes.
I just personally would like a moment to appreciate Thanos' shiny stones, which was an icon of the movie. Really, I mean, it was so big, and just
Did you even watch the film?
I did.
Yeah, remember, he missed the first 5 minutes because he went to get some ice cream.
That's right, and then the ice cream started spilling all over me. The hot fudge was all over my jeans. It was awkward.
Yeah, I was right next to you, so I got the...
Yeah, I was trying to lick my fingers to try and get the fudge off, and then my hands got clammy and sticky. But it's like I can't leave.
The more
Yeah,
worrying
like,
thing, he was looking at people's eyes while I did it. He
Are you
wanted
talking
that
about the
attention.
Infinity Stones, Phil, or are you talking about Thanos' testicles?
I am generally just talking about stones.
Okay.
So,
Make of that what you will.
so testicles.
I've seen some
Hey,
red and purple ones, and it was beautiful.
Thanos' chin looks like a testicle ball sack.
It does.
It does.
The one thing I thought about, I think that's probably my favourite Marvel film, though. Generally.
Oh well.
I love
Yeah.
that film.
It was so good.
I didn't like any of the Phase ones really. I thought they were. I just couldn't get into them because
Yeah, I knew you, CB, when you didn't like superhero movies.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a thing.
That was a thing, yeah.
Oh, you've grown like the Avengers.
I genuinely think that is the end of an era. I felt really sad, not just because Iron Man died, and I was, to be honest, fucking fuming about that, but it's kind of like...
Spoiler alert! I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Chris, I want to just edit that in.
Yeah, I put a spoiler text in saying spoiler.
Yeah.
There you go. Everyone's distracted. Now,
Is this not going to be a spoiler-free?
No, yeah. So,
podcast?
no. We will be talking about spoilers, but we haven't mentioned it yet. So people.
yeah, fair enough. So I mentioned it a bit early, but I'll leave it at this. That I felt like
Just like
the end of that movie was sort of like the end of our era, if you like. I felt like that was very much in tune with our age group. It was out, their movies had been out since we were, I think like 11 was when the first Iron Man came out, so I was only like 11 years of age. So for that to end was a little bit like sad, because it officially says, well, that's it for this generation of Marvel. So
I agree there. I do
So,
feel
yeah.
like these next phases, I'm not excited at all for Phase 4.
I mean, I
no,
watched
not as much.
I watched Avengers today for the second time again, and they only came out last Wednesday.
I beat you to it. I watched it Saturday twice.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was watching it, literally at the end, I was so emotional. I nearly broke into tears. Literally, I'm not kidding.
Yeah, so did I.
Were you holding yourself?
Yeah, I was. Yeah. No, I know exactly what
now
you
on his
mean.
own, cuddling himself in the cinema, like, it's okay, me, it's okay.
Oh no, literally. Yeah. I mean, when everyone started coming in, when everyone,
Well,
By the way,
bouncy-
guys, this is a spoiler. Yeah, we're gonna have spoilers in this podcast, just so you know. So if you don't want to hear spoilers,
Sam,
turn
it's
this off
too late.
right now.
Everyone dies.
It is too late for that.
Yeah, we kind of ruined that.
Basically, I was in the cinema and everyone started coming through the little sling ring portals by Doctor Strange, and a little tear came up. I'm not gonna lie. I was
That was from the taco before.
goosebumps and everything.
Sounds like you're Tom Lee
I did think.
to this movie series, Sam.
Yeah, I do think that entrance to the battle was actually quite cool.
Oh,
Oh,
I
Yeah,
literally-
exactly. I'm just gonna miss Benedict Cumberbatch. I mean, he was amazing.
Love that. I love it.
Nice.
Oh, I couldn't hold it.
I liked what you did there.
yeah. Except Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be in it from that film onwards.
Yeah, boy.
Like he's still going to be there.
He's Doctor Strange 2.
Oh well.
Doctor Strange
Yeah.
2's out. Oh, it will be out. But is that going to be after this or before?
After.
Yeah.
That'd be weird. Oh no, it'll be about it's about the who's that black guy? What's the black guy in the first one? Is it going to be
Terrence Howard.
You have no. What's his character
yeah,
called?
Like proper, like
Rhodey.
proper.
Yeah,
no, proper holy.
yeah, he goes bad, doesn't he? He turns bad.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah,
see
he
him.
starts going.
Oh, Mo. Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, because don't you see him? It was at the end credit or during the film where he sees him.
End
He
credit.
attacks somebody. He
Yeah.
attacks somebody else and gets their power, or
Yeah,
gets
still
rid
the
of their
power.
power.
He makes it his mission to basically strip the powers of any other wizard or any other enchantress or enchanter of all the powers if they've been tapping into the dark dimension. Because if I remember correctly, there was a guy in it in the first one who used the dark dimension to heal his legs.
That'd be me. Oh my god, I would totally do
I
that.
think Will's found his calling card.
You just go through the portal into the dark dimension. You just pop up into Liverpool. It's like, welcome to West Derby, lads.
I'm not gonna lie, I probably walked straight back in. It's like no, definitely gone the wrong way.
Yeah. Oh, so I think I think we're going into the Doctor Strange a bit too much. I think we should talk about Endgame.
Well, yeah, but he's a good actor, isn't he? Like,
He is a very good actor. Benedict Cumberbatch.
But
yeah.
Dave, what did you think of it? Where did it rank in your favourite films?
I thought it was just beautiful. Just the whole thing was beautiful. I knew like saw some theories and all that and said like that, and you're watching it and you're like, yeah, that was cool, and like people said that was gonna happen, but like when you see it, when you just see Captain America pick up the fucking hammer, you're just like,
Oh my god!
He was worthy. He was worthy.
That was I heard that was the biggest reaction out of any audience I've ever heard.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say.
All I heard from behind was "Fuck yeah!"
Well, I just heard something else, which wasn't any words. It was
That was me in the background. See, what I would really like is the realistic endings to the events that happen. So 4 gains a lot of weight. So actually, what I would have liked to have seen is him going to the gym and slowly burning it back off again. And he's failing. He has a couple of relapses. He goes back into eating cakes, and then he hits it again. And then his trainer's really barking at him, and he's sort of crying and breaking down because he's fat now. I want to see Captain America when he comes back old. Them escorting him away and going, look, it's Sheer Oaks. You're gonna love this place. It's a beautiful care home. They have bingo on Sundays and everything. Like I would have liked to have seen that. I think that would have been a pinnacle
I've
of the
got to
movie.
admit, Fat Four was hilarious. I loved that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I found him really funny, but I think that was the one thing. Well, one of the very few things I didn't like about Endgame.
What blows a fat four?
Yeah, because it was the end of an era. Like this film is basically rounding up all the last 22 films or 21 films and making it one grand finale. I would have liked to see 4 in his original or prime state.
Yeah, that'd be just for you too.
Having a fat 4, I mean, it was a bit of a letdown in a way because just
I thought it'd become more like his father because his father was fat when he Odin was fat.
oh, that's a good point.
And he was very wise when he was like Odin, like when he gave up all the war and he just like kind of settled for just ruling instead of like looking for fighting.
But Thor's obesity also weakened him a bit against Thanos.
Yeah, I thought Thanos was more OP in this one than he was in the last one, and he had the Infinity Stones in the last one.
Yeah.
Like Thor noticeably struggled against
He
him.
smashed Captain America's shield to pieces.
Yeah. Like what is that sword made out of?
This is spoiler territory.
I bet it's made out of Dwayne the Rock Johnson. I think that's what it's made out of.
Oh, nice one, Phil.
Right, I've got a plot though. Right? Because you're gonna need the remaining characters. You're gonna need to sort of continue some of the side movies. Black Panther, right? He's the king of Wakanda, which hasn't yet really been discovered by the world. So what I'd like to see in the next movie after Endgame as a follow-up from that is the world discovers Wakanda and its limitless resources. I can't do it. Donald Trump, right, in a worried state of the United States' current economy, decides to go to war with Wakanda. I'd pay to see that.
Yeah, but they're bringing out Black Panther 2 anyway, aren't they?
I couldn't keep a straight face when I was saying that, to be honest. Yeah, but they should.
Think you'd only pay for it, Phil, because no one else would.
Oh, I would seriously. I'm sure a lot of people would pay for Wakanda to go against Donald Trump.
I would pay to hear you pronounce Wakanda correctly instead of Wakanda.
Why is it actually
Wakanda?
Is it Wakanda?
Tomato, Wakanda.
Yeah, it's fine.
Sick. Oh, what about the biggest spoiler for Endgame, though? The biggest spoiler?
And what was that?
Iron Man dies!
Yeah, no, Phil already said that.
Yeah, we're just going like in a loop right now.
Oh, shit.
We haven't had any structure. We're just talking about in general what we thought of Endgame.
Yeah.
Can we have appreciation? Like a minute or two appreciation for Korg and Meek.
So you're going to say Iron Man, but yeah, sure.
Korg and Meek. I want them to have their own series. Even if I just hear Korg. Four? Kids on the TV again? Just call me dickhead.
Nude Master's back. He just called me a dickhead.
That was honestly one of the most memorable parts of that movie for me. Just because I found it hilarious. Like I thought it was dead funny.
Feel free to put the password in for the Wi-Fi.
Just a brilliant combination.
Feel free to the Wi-Fi.
Wait, it leads on from the Ragnarok for Korg. I'm so happy he's alive.
I know, yeah.
It's a bit of a coincidence that all of them are alive. You know, Valkyrie, Meek.
I think Meek and Korg must be alive because how big of a fan favourite they were, particularly Korg.
Oh god, yeah.
Can I just draw our attention to like a side note for a minute, right? Just to keep in mind, Gwyneth Paltrow is, I think she's either 43 or 46. She's one or the other. She is sexy. I mean, like seriously, that is just weird. I mean, it's not weird, but you know, I'm only like half her age.
Have you seen Paul Rudd? He's over 50. He looks in his 30s.
What about Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah, it's
Wait,
like the start of the film, he looked like a crackhead.
Wait, so Phil gave appreciation to a female, saying how good she looks. Then Sam goes about a male.
Yeah, but Paul Rudd's pretty cool, to be fair.
Oh, he's funny.
Sam, I'd just like you to know that this is a safe place, and that you can be open and
this
honest.
This isn't actually a podcast. This is we're sitting you down, talk about you. It's all about you.
Yeah, we are your friends. We are here for you. No matter who you are, we'll love and respect you all the same. which is not a lot, by the way. But you know, it'll be
When-
the same as it was
When
before.
when this podcast group is famous, around like tens of thousands of followers, people are going to look back on this and are going to actually think that I'm gay.
That'll be the same as in real life. Then we're just trying to be like realistic about this podcast. People meet you.
I don't have a problem with homos, by the way.
No, of course you don't, because
That's the
most
wrong
people that
term, isn't it? That's the homosexual. That's the one. I don't have a problem with them. Just so you know, guys.
I don't have a problem with any sexual
I
orientation.
don't think that was even worth
There you
saying.
go.
You could have just moved on
You
from
could've-
there.
Yeah, moved on from it now, Sam. I feel
Probably.
like
Oh,
Yeah.
your fault, Phil. Phil.
What are you trying to say about the other 66 sexual orientations?
Phil, let's carry on.
We're gonna get some like 16-year-olds psychology, like
The
kid.
first,
Oh, he's definitely gay. Should keep denying it.
the first podcast is going to be banned straight away.
We literally bully that people actually think you're gonna be gay.
Yeah, but in real life, that is the same. About 4 people have turned around quietly, got me to a corner, and being like, "Is Sam gay?"
Okay.
And
Does anyone have anything else to say about Endgame before we should probably move on?
No, let's carry on about talking about you being gay.
Uh,
Can I just say about
no,
Endgame?
this down.
Can I just say about Endgame? Well, it's now 7th on IMDb right now.
Wow.
7. What's actually its rating? What's it been given?
It's got a 9.9 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, but what's on IMDb?
8.9 on IMDb.
Haven't actually looked yet.
Oh my
8.9.
days.
Let's have a look.
Dave's just told you.
It's
What,
9.3.
what was it, Dave?
8.9. Can you not hear me, Tom?
On IMDb?
Yeah.
You don't get points on IMDb.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on about the rating. I want to see what it is in the top 100.
Oh, did you? Dave, it's okay.
Oh my god, I said it's 7th.
He's having a Sam
No,
moment.
it's 9 now. It's
9 now.
it's
Wow.
3rd in the all-time list. Shawshank.
9 stars.
No, mine still says 7th. Yeah,
Lord,
I'm really look-
Return of the King was 8.9 at 6th.
That's crazy.
It's rated number 7.
Yeah, it's number 7, isn't it?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
That's
but,
amazing.
Yeah, but look at the films above it.
And it's higher than all of the Lord of the Rings.
That's that's one thing I disagree with, but
Yeah, I just
Right.
agree with too.
Guys, very strange question, by the way, before we actually do move on from Endgame. Right? So, does anybody, I'm not, when I say this, I'm not discrediting Endgame because it was one of the best movies I've seen, like, period, honestly. But when you go to watch the first of, like, a 2-part movie thing, like Infinity War, same with Harry Potter, do you not kind of get more excited for the first one because you're still anticipating that you've got another one to come out after that? Because I do.
no.
I honestly get that. I honestly like the feeling of, even once I've watched this movie, there's still another one to go. I don't like it being the end of the line because then there's nothing left then.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
I got that now, yeah.
I got as soon as Infinity War ended, I was excited for the next one straight away. I was like, I can't wait for the next one. But now this one's over, that I'm not
It feels
generally
like
not
it's
excited for
ended.
any Marvel film coming up.
Yeah.
I never wanted to be the last movie. I think everyone on the planet is kind of the same, but it just really buzzes me out. I'm like,
I was
yeah.
the saddest part of Endgame, and this is why I'm going into this, and Lord of the Rings, is the credits. When the credits come on, that's when I'm blubbering the most.
Yeah, because he knows it's finished.
Yeah, literally, like, I watch the credits of Lord of the Rings because it's my favourite all-time movie, and I'm like, why did it have to end? Why?
Fair.
What's
Hey,
it
speaking of favourite films,
on? Yeah.
what is everyone's favourite film?
Who wants to go first? Dave, I'll let you do it. You're the host.
Yeah, my favourite film is Final Fantasy VII, Absent Children. Oh, that film is... it's like the game is just amazing.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
I've
God.
actually seen that.
Everything about it.
It's not mainstream either. It's kind of culty, isn't it?
Yeah, Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
It just it's different level for
Did
me.
it come
It's
to the cinema?
I know, like, no, I don't think it ever did. It went straight to DVD. It might have been in cinemas in Japan, not in
He was
the
typing.
UK.
That's
Probably
Phil.
so.
Definitely not me.
But yeah, I just love it because of this backstory. Because I played the game so much, I just love it, and I like it carried on the story. Um, it's quite a good story. I really like the fight scene in it.
What's the
Yeah.
best part of it
I'm
then?
a fan of Final Fantasy 2, and my favourite character and Seaman and Advent Children.
The best part is when like Sephiroth just like says, "I will never be a memory," and then like Cloud says like what does he say? I haven't seen it for a while, so I can't remember what it says.
My favourite part is when Cloud falls off the cliff, lands on Sephiroth's sword. The sword grows, and then what does Sephiroth say? We meet again, Cloud, or something?
No. He says when he stabs him, he says what does he say? There's two versions of it. I don't
is
really
it?
like that version. Yeah, that's the. I can't remember what version that one is, but the other one's where he just stabs him in the ground, and then Cloud like lying down, pulls the sword out, stabs it into concrete, and he starts attacking. The other one is the one where you watch, where he stabs him, the sword grows, and then he like pops off it or something.
Yeah. That's cool. Phil, what's your favourite film?
It's a little bit strange actually because mine sort of always like changes a little bit over time. I'd say I can only really narrow it down to two. I loved the second Hobbit movie, and I like the first Captain America movie. I think they're like
Yeah.
my two current favourites.
That's interesting because I would have thought anyone to pick those.
Captain America First Avenger was my favourite film from the MCU. But now I'm stuck between Winter Soldier and Endgame.
Doctor Strange, then Endgame.
Yeah?
Yeah, I
I
love.
thought you said Endgame and Doctor Strange, didn't you?
No. Doctor Strange is my number one all-time favorite. Then Endgame. Like,
Endgame
even though
and
Endgame's
Avengers.
like so much more, like just more. But Doctor Strange, I just love him. You gotta stay faithful to who you love.
Yeah. I think you could all guess what mine and Randy Bandit's favourite movie is.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, boy. Why is it your favourite, CB?
It's just a work of art, isn't it? Let's be honest.
I literally think
that-
it's the greatest piece of art ever made, like over like any piece of literature, fine art, music, or anything. If you look into what went into making the film, oh my god, it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, there's like 4 years preparation or
Yeah,
pre-production before they actually start filming, doing all the sets, designs, costumes.
Yeah, they started planting all the seeds for the Shire like 6 years prior.
Which was just a random farmer's land. And he thought, yeah, I can make some money here.
It's a bit of a shame that after Lord of the Rings, it actually went abandoned and it went overgrown. But then when The Hobbit came out, they brought it back to its prime. And then after The Hobbit was finished, they kept it as a tourist attraction, which is amazing. And I'm really surprised you and me haven't been yet.
Yeah, it's on my bucket list, for sure.
It is.
It's just unfortunate that New Zealand's literally probably the furthest place we
It
can go
is.
from the UK.
It is.
It generally is the most furthest place, and it's the place I want to go the most.
Yeah, it's such a shame, but you know.
But I want to give credit to my favourite character in Lord of the Rings, purely because I just think he's a marvellous human being. Gimli. Shout out to my little red dwarf.
No one tosses a dwarf.
You have to toss me.
That's definitely an
I was-
innuendo.
I was so waiting for like someone just like have a little Gimli moment in Game of Thrones.
Oh, with Tyrion.
Yeah.
Toss me.
Well, Lord of the Rings is actually the pinnacle of everyone. J.R. Tolkien reinvented modern fantasy.
I agree.
You listen to J.K. Rowling or George R. R. Martin interviews. They've both stated that Lord of the Rings is their inspiration.
Yeah.
So those two series would not exist without Lord of the Rings.
I'm just happy now there's going to be a TV series which is going to be filmed in Scotland. So
Which is actually a lot closer to us.
you know what's going to happen with me and Sam? We're just
Yeah,
going to end up in the random part of the film. They're going to be filming, and me and him are going to be in the bushes.
Do you think they saw us?
Sam doesn't have his dick out. I think I'll be alright with it.
Imagine, yeah.
He's not going to do that while he's looking at me.
Oh, and then the producers catch his spine and they say, "Oh, Sam, you've got a nice dick. Do you want a part?"
I don't think
I
don't think that's how it goes.
No,
Yeah,
that's
imagine
not
if that
one.
was your claim to fame. How did you start your acting career? Well, I was just jerking off in a bush.
And he said I had a nice penis.
And the producers of Lord of the Rings found me and offered me a part.
That'll be a story to tell your well, it won't be a story to tell your grandkids, Sam.
I'm not too sure that would be a story to tell your grandma, CB.
Choking.
I'm not too sure it would.
You'll have to make it more child friendly, like he was not. Well, I'll say choking a rabbit, but that sounds even worse.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings was my inspiration for going to university, so I'll give it credit.
Wow, that was the only reason why you went to university?
It was well, everyone's got an inspiration for something, and because I did film production, it kind of makes sense that a film was my inspiration.
Breaking news, everybody. Sam would have been selling his body on the streets for burgers if it hadn't have been for Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Basically.
You haven't said much in a while, Dave. How are you, Dave?
I'm alright. I'm enjoying these conversations and hearing about everyone's favourite films. Yeah.
Do you like our film choices?
I just think Lord of the Rings isn't that much of a film. And
I'll stop you right there, Dave. Stop you right there.
Attack!
That is actually an attack on my well-being.
It's attack on my religion. That
Don't identify as Lord of the Rings.
identify as an elf.
Yeah, I identify as
Fucking troll.
Dave got
well, that's the thing. J.R.R. Martin. What the fuck? I just mixed it
J.R.R.
to
Martin.
J.R.R. Tolkien. J.R.R. Tolkien invented The Hobbit. He respelt officially the words elves and dwarves in the Oxford Dictionary, and he invented the troll and the orc. So, if you play any old fantasy games like Dungeon Keeper or any,
Like Sam does.
it's because of that man right there.
Yeah.
What was the which would you say is the best Lord of the Rings game?
Return the King.
Yeah.
Oh no, Sam. Yeah, you say Return the King, but then you've got the Battle for Middle Earths, and they were very good games.
Intense.
In my personal one's probably Battle for Middle Earth 2. I just love the whole strategy battle.
Which Lord of the Rings is our favourite, not what game.
I thought, Dave, do you mean like Lord of the Rings as in Lord of the Rings title game?
Yeah.
So
like
film to game. Or...
Yeah. So like any Lord of the Rings game.
Okay, so yeah, Battle for Middle Earth 2. Battle for Middle Earth 2 for me.
Yeah, I could probably go with that as well.
I just love how you can play different factions in different parts of the map. So you can be like the goblins with their heroes. I love how I chose probably the worst faction you could choose. But
Hey,
yeah,
do you know what was the best faction?
Isengard.
Goblins, because they had the dragon as a hero.
No, I never chose the goblins.
They had Shelob, the dragon, and an orc king as the hero, and that dragon was the most powerful hero out of all of them.
I like dragons.
Yeah, but out of all the other heroes sucked.
I've set them off. Phil, I've set them off.
Yeah, Dave, reel us in.
What's everyone's favourite game, by the way? While we're
There's a few.
Wait, do you want to say favourite all-time game or current favourite game?
I'd like to say all-time, like all-time game or all-time game.
What's your current favourite and what's your all-time favourite?
Okay.
Who wants to go first?
Phil, I nominate you.
Yeah, Phil.
Phil got nominated.
Okay, alright. All time, absolute all time, you're never going to guess this one. This is kind of embarrassing.
Barbie's Day Out.
Oh god.
No, but it's just as bad. It was Barnyard on the Wii.
What was that game?
I absolutely adored that game. I thought it was one of the best games ever.
Phil, what did you do in that game? What was it?
Yeah, what did
Well,
you do,
the cow could ride a bicycle. The cow could ride a bicycle on the game. So I got a little bicycle and I was riding around. And you were in a barnyard, obviously, give the name. And he had parties in the barn every Friday night. So I'd go over to the barn and have a couple of drinks
Phil?
with my animal friends.
Was this?
'Cause-
Did you play this game when you were like in like middle of high school?
Oh, last year.
You see, it would have been better if you just would have came out with, did you play this game when you were young? Because I've had to say, no. I played this game age 12 with a cast on my leg after being bedridden for a month and a half.
So basically, you had no friends, so you made yourself friends.
I did. I lived in that imaginary world for a short time. It was beautiful. It was magical. It was brilliant.
Oh,
Sorry, was that
that's
your favourite all-time
story.
game?
That would be my old time. My current one's Rocket League. Because I don't play Barnyard anymore. I don't think
Phil loves
it's very
Rocket League.
appropriate for a 24-year-old.
Phil
I
adores
would
Rocket
like to play it again. It's like SpongeBob, you act like you're not watching it when you're around kids, but really you're quite in tune with what's going on. You just sort of look away every now and then and sort of smirk and act like you're not actually watching it. You're like, huh,
There's been a
yeah,
few
I'd rather watch
times.
the sport.
There's been a few times actually. I've been on chat with Phil, and all I can hear is SpongeBob in the background. I'm like, Phil, 'cause obviously, like, what are you watching? He goes, SpongeBob.
That's really awkward. I didn't know
And-
anyone knew about
And I was
my
like,
secret obsession.
you're watching SpongeBob? And he goes,
background.
yeah.
Like, ah!
Yeah, then all you hear is Phil go.
I have seen so many films in the cinema where SpongeBob is in the background. That's really weird.
Like, what?
You've been taking drugs, Sam?
No,
I mean, I love SpongeBob,
You
but
sure it's
I
the
don't see
SpongeBob
that
movie?
very often.
SpongeBob was in I Am Legend. Smith. It was in what was that film we watched last before Endgame? I forgot. Yeah, I've seen it in loads
I
of
thought
films.
you were about to say something else.
He's
Anyway.
just there in the background. Patrick?
I'm a goofy goober, yeah. You're a goofy goober, yeah. We're all goofy goobers, yeah. Gooby, 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 yeah. What?
I think Sam just wanted someone to mention SpongeBob.
Oh, guys, it's worth mentioning. I do sort of have a second favourite. Does anyone remember Shaun White snowboarding?
Oh,
It was
God,
for
that
the Xbox.
fucking
Normal
classic.
Xbox, first Xbox or 360.
Yeah, I think it was for the first one. And I loved it. I couldn't get enough of that game.
Mate, that was some.
Good
That
stuff.
was mate. That was a good game. That.
It was good, wasn't it? I enjoyed it.
That was a well good game.
I'll give you
What was it?
credit. Those were good choices, apart from Barnyard.
That's all good.
Yeah, I don't know what to
Yeah.
say about that.
You know what? You don't need to say much.
Okay, let's quickly move on from Phil.
Okay.
Sam,
Yep.
Yeah.
what's your current favourite game, and what's your all-time favourite game?
My current. If you asked me about a month before I moved on to my new one, I would say it's Spider-Man PS4.
Oh, I haven't played that.
Oh, it's an incredible game, man. Like, literally, any landmark you can think of, except for Ground Zero,
Eiffel Tower.
Cheers. Thank you.
in the game. Literally, every single monument, every single landmark is in the game. Like, the map is perfect.
Oh.
And the actual game engine for it, the fighting gameplay is very Batman Asylum-esque, but it's actually put its own twist into, obviously, because Batman, so instead of using gadgets, you're using web fluid.
Oh, cool.
And you've got literally like every villain you can think of in it. Well, every main villain, because the Sinister Six are in it as well. So I would say that. But I'm currently playing Dragon Quest XI, Age of an Elusive Dream. It's actually a Square Enix game. So the same makers as the same designers as like Final Fantasy. It's still turn-based as well. And I'm a massive fan fan of turn-based games, strategy turn-based games, and it actually has the artist for it, the chief artist, designed monster, Akira Toriyama.
Cool.
I feel like I've turned more into a nerd in the past half hour than I probably have. I actually have you guys to thank for that.
You're very welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
We have to bring it out of you somehow.
I feel accepted right now.
Yeah, so they're my favourite current games. My favourite all-time game / franchise is the Zelda series, Legend of Zelda.
Oh yeah, I like Princess of Twilight.
Twilight Princess.
That's it.
Yeah.
You,
Like,
didn't like
literally,
it. You really didn't like it
If I
that
was-
much if you don't know the name.
Like, for a game franchise, sorry, not Final Fantasy, Legend of Zelda's mythos is absolutely massive and absolutely incredible. Like, they have so many games, and they recently brought a time like connected all like 18 games or whatever it is. But like the graphics are amazing. Like the map changes in every game, but like just to see all the different races, all the different locations, I think it's amazing. The stories are also absolutely fantastically written. Most of the time they're really dark. My favorite Zelda game is actually Majora's Mask, which is probably the darkest game I've ever played.
Truthfully, I've never really played Zelda.
Yeah.
I've only really played it on Game Boy. Was it Zelda Oracle of Seasons, or Zelda Oracle of Ages? They're the ones I really played because I didn't have any Nintendo console. All I had was.
You need to get on the Legend of Zelda bandwagon, mate. Literally, it's incredible. Majora's Mask is so dark, though. Like, so dark. All the songs that you play with the ocarina are so eerie. You literally want to, I don't know, curl up into a ball in bed.
And cry.
Yeah.
Sounds
Used to scare me when I was a kid.
much for a game for kids. Was it a game for kids?
Doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I would say so. But
I can imagine the songs that he sung, didn't he? He was turning around, kids. Turn around and like singing things to kids. He was like, "Hey, I know you're all dreamers, but you're probably gonna be cleaners." And the fact,
is it
You're
from
right.
China?
Where are you going with this film?
Yeah,
that'd be the scary song. I mean, let's be honest. Imagine telling a child all his dreams are crushed.
Yeah,
So is that that's your current ones and your game?
yeah.
Need for Speed Shift was good.
Current is Spider-Man and Dragon Quest XI, and all-time favorite is Legend of Zelda.
What's good about Dragon Quest XI? Because I've took interest in that before.
It's the same again. It's the same game engine. It's all like the old classic Final Fantasy games, like Final Fantasy 7 and 8, where it's turn-based. The art design is really good because of Akira Toriyama, and it's just a big adventure. Like the artwork's very childlike, and the music is very, very fun brass bands. But it's just a really fun adventure, to be fair. Like,
Oh, see this. I might actually get my missus this game. She loves anything like this.
Also, it has 3 acts. The first act was 60 hours long. Yeah, I'm only in the top of the first half of the second act, and I'm already on 75 hours.
Wow.
So this game is over 100 hours.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it free world? Can you explore anywhere at any?
Yeah, anywhere at all. You can fly in it. You get a massive pirate ship. You get to fly on a whale with wings.
That does sound amazing.
Like a blue whale with wings. It's incredible, mate. If you like RPGs, especially JRPGs, I'd recommend it.
That's JRPGs,
See, that's the
Japanese.
brilliant thing about the games and me gaming, right? In games, I can walk, run, ride a bicycle, drive a car, do a motorcycle, fly up in the air. In real life, I can barely walk. It's like, oh, shit. But, you know, at least in games, it immerses me. I actually feel like I'm running when I'm in the game. I feel like I'm driving a car.
There's only one problem, Phil. At the moment, it's PS4 exclusive, and you're an Xbox player.
Yeah, we
I don't care.
We
PS.
can't.
It's coming out
Sugar.
on PC and Switch next, but not for a few months.
My sister's got a Switch. I might have to steal it.
Is
Oh,
this Dragon Quest?
Yeah, Dragon Quest. The two most famous games are Dragon Quest 8 and Dragon Quest 11. And Dragon Quest 11 is the new one, which I'm playing.
Fair.
Shout out to Dragon Quest if you want to sponsor. So we'll play games.
So, Baby Yoga,
What my
we
go?
went on a bit then.
Alright, so my current favourite game, which I think everybody pretty much knows it, I talk about all the time. I want to play it, I want to hug it. It's Ark. Ark Evolved. I freaking adore that Ark. It's like the pinnacle of my sort of game. You get to tame dinosaurs, you're in an island in survival, you get to build bases, and Dave and Phil, they can vouch for me here, definitely. I'm the builder.
Oh god,
You
yeah.
bring me the stuff, I
Yeah,
make a nice
yeah,
house.
you are a builder.
Oh yeah, that's all we have to do. We like risk our lives so you could be like wife, cook us food, make all the beds and shit.
Yeah, but it'll be a
And
nice
you do a
bed.
great job of
You
it.
make everything look pretty.
Yeah, I make everything symmetrical, nice. I think every time I probably played so many different games on Ark, so I've restarted purely because I got bored of my base. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to build another base. I had to buy
base.
another base, and I just love Ark. I
You
just
always
love the
go
whole.
somewhere new for a new base as well, don't you?
Oh yeah, I just adore Ark. I just love the whole dinosaur.
It is
Um,
fun. It's so good.
The only thing is though, well, if you play online and you have that base
Hmm.
and you're in a real-time
Ah.
server,
Yeah,
if you
it can
don't
get
if you
fucked.
don't go on it for 2 days, your base is raided, so you lose literally everything. So I just tend to stay off that, play single player, play with friends, because I think that's just as fun. The other day,
Yeah.
me and Phil got our ass kicked by a crab. We just, and it's
Yeah, I kept running away from it.
no, yeah, he kept running away. I kept trying to stab it. He kept stabbing me. We kept dying, all because Phil decided to throw a stone at it. And freaking hell, I just built some 2 nice houses too, symmetrical, and
So you ruined
the
it.
houses have gone. So we had to
Yeah.
move.
You
But
ruined it there.
that's my
ruined it.
favourite current game, easily.
Yeah, it didn't work the way it should have.
I
I
put
sort
on
of thought.
hundreds of hours in that game, but I think my favourite all-time game is actually quite hard. But it
Is it
runs a
hard?
pattern. It runs a pattern. No,
Go on.
Dino Crisis 2.
Oh,
Wow.
I freaking
Go on.
Dino Crisis
Wow,
2.
why is this your game?
So you can tell what sort of games I like.
Dinosaur games.
Anything dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
So I'm a big kid, really. But
Hey,
Basically.
did you like Land Before Time?
oh god, did I?
Yes.
Did you watch?
Oh,
Did you watch Sharktooth Island?
what the hell is that?
That was one of the Land Before Times.
Oh yeah. Is it with what's his name? The baby Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yes, I don't know
What
what
was his name again?
Baby T-Rex.
Okay. I don't think it was, but yeah, okay.
But I love Dino Crisis. The fact it was it a village gets absorbed and goes into another
I don't know,
world.
it's not.
You get it's transport, isn't it? Or the forest transports around this village, and all these dinosaurs come. And obviously, you've got to go in, save the survivors, while all this is going on. And I just remember one particular scene. There was I think it was like a factory or something, a warehouse, probably a warehouse. You had to run through the middle of it with a T-Rex chasing you. I used to be scared shit and stuff like that. To see a T-Rex coming for me when I was about I don't know how old was I, about 9 maybe. Oh,
Yeah.
that was my game. Anything dinosaurs, I love it.
Yeah.
Good lad.
He's a dinosaur boy.
Yeah, I'm the dinosaur boy and the builder.
You fucking love building.
Oh god, put me in Ark, put me in Minecraft. I build your house.
Yeah. Just
What about you, Dave?
like, yeah, okay, just bring me the materials. Like 2 hours later, you're like, oh my god, thank you.
Yeah, I've got
Jack
your
Nicholson, by the way, he's the guy out of The Shining, right?
He is.
Yes.
Oh, I've just seen a meme now of him with his like creepy face, just slowly nodding his head, and the
That's
tag
manga
for it. Huh?
That's for manga management.
Yeah, well, the tag for it is when I rip a nasty fart and people are starting to smell it. I just thought it was class. He's got this dead creepy look on his face.
Phil took my thunder there.
What about your games, Dave?
Sorry.
I'd have to say my current favorite is Super Smash Bros. It has to be Super Smash Bros.
Oh, I played a few
Ooh.
games of Dave the other day.
It's just for a fighter game. I'm not really like one into fighters. I like Soul Calibur, but I'm not really
I like
that
fighting
into
games.
it. But Super Smash Bros. Oh god, just I'm falling in love with it. I just love playing with like all the characters you got on there, and it's just really easy to get into, especially with the Switch just being like put in your dock and you can play on your TV, or if you want to go out for a bit, or you go into like somewhere, you can just instantly play it wherever you want. But yeah, that's my current favorite. And my all-time favorite is Final Fantasy VII.
Good lad.
That's
Although, yeah,
it's
carry
an
on.
amazing film. It's an amazing game. Just the whole story. So like, fucking when I was like first playing it, I remember the first boss, like robot crab. That thing fucking took me days to beat when I was like a kid. Eventually, got to the part where I was just like, no, I don't want to play anymore because I was too young, and I fell in love with Aerith, and I was like, oh my god, Aerith Gainsborough, she's dead. And yeah, that's why it's my favorite game. Just the story captivates me so much.
Final Fantasy VII is probably one of the most famous games in history, along with like Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's right there in my heart.
I don't know though, because out of the Final Fantasies, it's either Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy X.
I never played 10.
I thought the story and the music for that was incredible.
I played 12 and I like that one. I'm 15. I'm 30.
I don't like them after 10.
Do you not?
Not really. I
15,
don't like how they
15.
changed the gameplay
15
from
really
turn
brings
based.
it back. You need to play 15 then.
I've played like an hour or two of Final Fantasy 15. But
Sam, you need to play all of it. Trust me.
yeah, but I don't like. I prefer turn based Final Fantasy. I don't like it.
And I think the battle system in this one, yeah, it's not turn based, but it's a lot. It's very fluid.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's good. I definitely recommend it for the story. What is one of them that's up there? It's definitely up there.
yeah. Is it 15's about the prince, isn't it?
Yeah, it was originally meant to be Final Fantasy 13, but the original creator fucked up and they had like problems, so they sacked him and then sacked that idea, and then he was 15.
Yeah, the Seven's an incredible game, though. Vincent Valentine's one of my all-time favorite characters. Out of any game.
I haven't played any Final Fantasy games, so I actually don't know.
You're weak and you should leave.
Get out.
Should I leave the call?
Well, just leave life in general.
Leave life.
Not kill yourself. Just leave life in general.
Wow.
Phil, do you want to come with me?
No, you don't get to take anyone. You go on your own.
I've already invited him. Can't take that invite back.
Well, Phil deny it.
It's too
He's
awkward.
dead.
You have to.
Do you want me? Do you want me to go with you, CB? You know, is this what you want? Because I don't know.
No, he doesn't. Phil, you're staying with us. That's it.
Phil,
Well,
you can choose. It's a free world. You can choose whether to come with me.
No free will, Phil.
This is very difficult for me. I'm a child of divorce.
Remember, Phil,
Can't.
perfectly working eggs. You stay with us.
I'm gonna go with.
Are you smoking?
Phil!
No, I am not.
We specifically said no
Do you know what?
smoking.
It's the dog. He's lit up a cigarette right next to me. We've recently taught him.
Kick him out of the room.
Go on off. No, he's old. I can't really shift him.
What do we think of a PlayStation 5 and its specs that's been released?
I don't know. I think I'm still gonna go for Xbox. I've never been into the PS.
Yeah, I'm not a PS person.
I'm a PS person. It has better games, not gonna lie.
Oh,
Yeah, but it doesn't have the same community. You wouldn't understand because you don't have live, but we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't have live. Xbox Live.
You don't,
That's what-
you're
No,
not
I
on
don't have Xbox Live, no.
Exactly.
But I do think I just prefer Xbox. So
Yeah.
more.
PlayStation exclusive games are so much better.
I don't know,
Spider-Man
Not really
PS4,
through,
Dragon Quest Age of
console.
Elusive Dreams, Days Gone. There's loads of good exclusive PS4 games.
To be honest, there's not many of them. Well, actually, no, some of them I'll play. But I just prefer the controller for the Xbox. I just prefer the look of the Xbox. All my friends have got Xboxes except for you.
Call me a friend.
So take that as a hint. But I still just gonna go for the Xbox.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like all the specs sound good for it. Like, I can't even remember.
Isn't it discless?
That's the Xbox,
No,
isn't
no,
it?
no. That's Xbox is going discless.
Oh, for PS5.
PS5 got
Is it fully going discless? As in,
it's got some really new AMD chip, I think, and a Ryzen graphics card, maybe.
what is this? The
What is it?
PS5?
You
Or-
think so? I want to say. Not really sure. I'm gonna Google it so I don't sound like an idiot.
When's it out?
Not for a while.
Okay, but yeah, they've already created it. At least it's not the Xbox. Well, the PS coming out soon. But
Yeah, they
but you said the Xbox. There's gonna be an Xbox discless.
yeah.
See, I
so
don't
they're bringing
know.
out this one already.
Yeah, that must be huge though. As
They-
in,
they want
the
to,
storage must be huge.
They just want to try and make everything more digital. I think maybe just to stay in within the store, stop you from buying second-hand games. I'm not
Yeah,
really
but-
sure. I'm not really bothered because I don't actually buy second-hand games anymore. I mean, for the younger gen, they'll probably do it.
Didn't a game company release a discless game console where you just download all those games? But it's not Xbox or PS4.
Is it like a really not well known one?
Yeah, but it like people are expecting it to get pretty big because of the fact that it was disc.
See, it's not doesn't bother me if it's discless. I like sometimes I actually like having the discs because I can see there and then. Okay, this is my games here. I like looking at my collection of games. Plus,
Apparently, PS5 is backwards compatible. That's why
I'd say they'd do it. Yeah, I'd say they'd probably do it. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? If you think about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
it makes sense for
only
any
with
game
PS4
console
games.
to go backwards compatible.
Yeah, only with PS4 games though.
I'll say is PS4 backwards compatible?
Can I just address the elephant in the room, by the way?
Go on.
Unrelated topic, actually. Spoiler alert for anyone that's watching. Again, I know we've already said that about Endgame, but this is Game of Thrones. That episode just completely climaxed. I mean, there's no way the finale can be the same as that episode, surely.
Don't
Surely
get Sam
that's the
started.
best.
Don't get
No.
Sam started.
No, I
Yeah.
found the last episode really disappointing.
You've got it. You've done it. You've gone and done it.
Wait, you've seen the last episode? Is that right?
Yeah, he didn't
yeah.
watch it with us. He wanted to watch it by himself.
I watched it on my own at 2 a.m. the other day.
It was Circle of
I didn't even know it was out online. Where is it?
Yeah, it's Sky. So I just watched it on Now TV.
Yeah, it's on Sky Atlantic.
Are we on about episode 3 or the season
Yeah,
finale?
no, he's
Episode 3.
Not the season finale. that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
TV.
no, I've seen. I've got the same. I've got Now TV. Yeah, I did find it disappointing. I wanted them to. It was 6 seasons, or it was pretty much 6 seasons of them just like building up to that event, and it was over as quick as it began. I was just like, well,
Phil,
Yeah. That's exactly what I mean. I was saying to CB, who sort of disagreed, and Dave, who sort of agreed, that 7 years of build-up towards the Night King, supposedly the most formidable opponent in all of Westerosi history, and he went down like a bitch.
yeah, he went down for a knife and
I don't think he did.
His arrogance cost him his life.
Yeah, his
I mean,
arrogance.
I'm happy Arya killed him.
You're
I'm
like,
happy Arya killed
comparing
him.
the entire 7 seasons of building up, just for him to die in one episode. But like, what you forget is that they built him up over 7 seasons. Not many characters last that fucking long.
Yeah, that's what I said to Sam. I goes,
Like,
eh,
you get one season characters, but like you get one wonder season.
you
Like,
don't
one
usually
season
have
wonder.
8 seasons worth of one villain.
Yeah, like
So
no one's been a villain that long.
no, Cersei's been on and off. Cersei wasn't really
Yeah,
a villain in the beginning.
Yeah, but nobody's been in contact with the Night King except for Bran. Yeah, I would have at least. I would have appreciated it. Appreciated Arya stabbing him in the belly and dying in one hit. As long
No,
as I could have saw, I would have at least loved to see a duel between the Night King and Jon, or
No, but
any
the thing is,
any of his White Walker lieutenants to have a duel with the Hound or Brienne or Jamie. They just sat there. They stood there and watched Arya walk past them
The world
and
has stolen
stab the
from me
Night
my
King
whole
in the
life.
belly. They did shit all.
Maybe I have this thing so I can steal some of it back.
Not when Arya stabbed him in the belly, obviously, and he let her walk past her.
That's when they instantly lost. They didn't instantly win, did they? They knew they were winning slowly, and eventually they triumphed.
Yeah, but one of the White Walkers even turned their head to look at Arya.
there's just a few things that I just
I
didn't
think it
think
was
were.
like more of a whisper.
I
I
think
think it was next episode.
the truth is, Sam, the Night King didn't give two hoots about Dany or Jon Snow. He didn't care for that. He was going for Bran. He didn't care for Jon Snow. That's why he didn't fight him. He didn't care for him.
But for
He
the
was going
audience,
for Bran. Yeah,
for the audience's sake, a duel would have been nice at least, and not just down in one hit.
Yeah.
but like I said, his arrogance caught him killed.
Yeah.
Because
I'd have loved to have seen though just a lot more to it, like a little bit more in depth, like something like say if I could make an alternative version of my head. They're heavily getting battered. The Lady of the Light or whatever you summons the Lord of Light to surround them with a gigantic ring of fire, and they retreat for a short time, so it drags on a bit longer. And then the second part is something like that, something that makes it drag. Well, the second part is Theon Greyjoy, right, who for his entire life upon Game of Thrones has been nothing less than pathetic, right? Finally plucks up the courage to be a really decent fighter. He took on more what you call it, dead people, White Walkers, than any other character I've seen in that episode. He literally was taking them on one after the other, only to run at the Night King like an idiot and just get stabbed the moment he went anywhere near
He
him.
was surrounded by all of the lieutenants too. And
Yeah, but I just thought, maybe add a little bit of substance to it. Like, as he's going for them, make that is like a diversion, and then something like the Hound tries to come up behind them and he gets stabbed, and then they have a little bit of a thing, and there's sort of like the way Avengers did it. They beat the enemy in the end by plucking up a load of diversions, which sort of distracted him away from what he was actually meant to do. And then he struggled, but just about managed to defeat him. I would have loved to have seen something like that. That's dramatic. I didn't think it was very dramatic. For 6 seasons worth of build-up, I felt very dissatisfied.
The worst thing about the episode was the cinematography.
Yeah, 100% agree. The editing was
it was
like
so quick.
it was lazy. It was lazy editing, and they just basically didn't want to waste the entire budget on a fucking fight that's only halfway through this.
I mean,
Yeah, but they got away without saying it was the long night.
Yeah,
So they
I get
purposely
that.
made it have a storm to make it dark.
yeah,
So
but
his enemies
that doesn't
like
help the audience, though, does it? Does that matter if we can't see it?
the thing is though, we could see it.
I barely could, and I was in the dark. Like, they could. Everyone on the internet. It's not even just my TV settings. Everyone on the internet was saying the dark. It was too dark. They could have at least turned up the brightness a little bit. And
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I was thinking it was some stream because I was streaming Now TV over the internet. But now that you say it, yeah, there was parts where I couldn't actually see what was going on above Jon Snow's head.
I had to move towards the TV and squint.
No, I just thought it was really disappointing. I was just like, of all the ways that you could have sort of made this into a real finale, I just felt like I was let down. It's just like, well, this is.
Yeah, I kind of see where you're coming from, but I also think that the Night King was always laughed about and talked about, and like it's the Game of Thrones, not the Game of the Night King.
Yeah, I agree.
But
It's got to be about the throne.
It'd be-
So
seriously,
obviously
it's
these
always
guys
the bad
aren't
guy.
shitty. These guys
But-
aren't shitty writers. They've adapted the books and they know what they're doing. So I'm presuming this halfway massive battle may have not been the climax, but we're gonna get a climax that's worthy later on.
George R.R. Martin always said that the Game of Thrones was a distraction from the Long Night.
Yeah, but once
You
again,
see-
the
Yeah, well,
books,
Can't even
the
finish the book.
TV's going series
What
is
does
going to
he
be
know?
different to the books. They've already
Yeah, I
said-
understand that.
So the book,
But, you
the
know,
book might be different.
it's just the quality has been so consistent with Game of Thrones that really threw me off. I was like, this isn't what I was anticipating. This isn't what I wanted. I mean, you know, there was a little bit of a big finish, but it was like it's like when you go, do you know on bonfire night, you know, you've got Sefton Park bonfire night. There's fireworks going up. Everyone's really excited, and then you've got Rill, you know, where the car boot sale is, and there's a few big fireworks,
Yeah, and that's the.
but it's nothing
the car-
spectacular.
Yeah, that's the car boot on fire, not the fireworks.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's just the arsonists that are coming over from Liverpool after Sefton. But, you know, the point that I'm trying to make is that was sort of like this episode. There was a few big bangs, but in reality, they weren't like the anticipation to the finale. They were the finale, and it's just really disappointing. I felt like there should have been a dragon fight between the ice one and the fire, like properly.
There
proper
was a
fight.
fight between them.
Yeah, but it was
And
not
everyone
very.
was seriously injured, and the other was injured because he got covered on by the whites. He was getting stabbed
Yeah.
to hell.
You know, I'd like to see something.
I want
And
to.
Ghost.
I think
I want to say something though.
What?
Um, whose battle plan was that? Because it was atrocious.
it was, wasn't it?
Why
It
would
was.
you-
Oh my
Why
god.
would you send the Dothraki, one of probably the best cavalry in the whole of there? They sent them out into the darkness against enemy they don't know how many there is. They don't know what
And
they've
it's the
done.
darkness and you can't see anything.
It was the most stupid thing. You don't send the cavalry first.
How did Jorah survive and no Dothraki survive as well?
I know, yeah. Oh, did you notice, by the way, Ghost was running alongside Jorah towards the White Walkers with the Dothraki, and he didn't come back. But
No, he did. He's in the preview.
yeah, but you didn't see him. That's what I mean. That's what you know. Like
Yeah, in truth.
it's
Yeah.
funny how Ghost just pops up in places.
Yeah, just like
Yeah, because he's a ghost.
The last episode,
Kind of
Ghost
just
just
actually
appeared
saying
on the
his
wall.
name.
The ghost
Yeah,
just
for the
appeared on
first
the wall.
time in 2 seasons,
He was just on the wall with
Maybe.
John.
Maybe Ghost is actually a ghost.
maybe.
Yeah, it's possible. Big spoiler alert.
Oh, plot twist. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
I think out of all of the comment sections I've come across on the internet, my most favourite comment about this episode was Lyanna Stark, the little girl from Bear Island, made a bigger difference in the battle than Jon and Daenerys combined.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, with the giant and the knife. She was getting her ribs crushed.
She did more than Jon and Daenerys put together. They did shit all in that.
No, there again, Daenerys did more than John.
Yeah, she actually got involved with the battle when Jon didn't want her to, and if she didn't, most of the Unsullied would have died.
Well,
Yeah.
they're all dead pretty much, aren't they? Well,
Yeah.
as far as we're aware.
No.
There's a lot in the preview.
Was there a lot?
Yeah.
You sure there was a lot?
Yeah.
I looked
Yeah, I
in,
don't
you know, when they walked through the gate, they looked like northern men. They didn't have the shields, they didn't have the helmets of the Unsullied.
Oh, didn't they?
What's the name of that green fire that you see in Westeros?
Oh, under King's Landing?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, someone
But,
mentioned Dave, wasn't that you mentioned that the other day? But
Yeah, I mentioned that. I thought they should have made the fires out of that stuff. 'Cause then it
Yeah,
would
exactly.
burn together. Burn forever.
Build a load of trenches and put it under the trenches so that when, build like a deep sort of pit that's all the way around. So as the undead are walking towards them, as the White Walkers are, they fall into it, and then that goes off like that. Once it's reached its max capacity. Capacity. Ah, shit.
Capacity. Oh, Phil, you got me doing it now.
another thing though, you know the trebuchets? They had all those
Hmm.
trebuchets, they fired wrong rounds.
I know, yeah, and then
then
gave up.
that was it.
Yeah.
Ceasefire. So, okay.
So it was
like
like-
forever. Yep. That's it.
truth,
We're done.
I don't know why there's whoever did the battle plan was shocking.
Yeah.
In terms of like the characters, not the directing. It was like
Mhm.
I assume it would probably been Zaraki would be under Daenerys'
You know
orders.
what, yeah? I
Yeah.
genuinely believe Ramsay Bolton was a middle opponent than the Night King.
What was that?
Ramsay Bolton was a more formidable opponent than the Night King.
No, he was just sadistic.
Yeah, but he did more damage than
You think?
No.
as a person, like
Yeah,
the
that's
actual Night King.
Well,
Yeah, there's nothing more damaging than getting your man hooked.
well, there again.
So I've got to sort of give him
the
that.
Night King killed a dragon.
Oh, he did, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, and you stood still, and you managed to hit him.
And he
point
like
blank.
removed so many houses and
Oh.
the wall.
Battle of the Bastards was a better episode.
Oh, that's my all-time favourite of the Game of Thrones. Just to clarify, this last episode is not. We're not saying it's bad, as in it's terrible.
No, it's
We just think it could have been better.
Yeah.
But we really
yeah.
enjoyed it. But there's some bits where it could have improved, or there were some flaws.
Yeah, I'd
So
rather
saying
have made
before
it funny.
Just rather
Then,
before
um,
anyone goes like, "Oh, you've all just hate it or you're negative." No, we really liked the episode, but there were some flaws, like every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. What
No,
about the
no,
one-liner? The Night King could have spoke for the first time to Bran and been like, "You're looking a bit skinny there, aren't you,
Oh
kid?"
no,
That was
you know what it should have been? It should have been like, spoken helium. It's like, you're feeling lucky, punk.
some-
But honestly, the Night King was so arrogant. He walked to Bran, like really slow, stared at him without any of his generals. He should have took some of his generals with him. I don't understand why he didn't. He obviously didn't pay attention to the fact. But he just didn't. He thought he was untouchable. Even holding Arya, he was being cocky. He just held her there. He could have killed her right
No,
there.
he held her by the neck and grabbed her by the stabbing hand.
Yeah, but he could have strangled her through her, but he just stayed there. He did his own flaws. His arrogance cost him.
Yeah, he an arrogant man. He
So I'm
arrogant.
glad he's died, because I generally always thought they're going to use him as everybody's going to be like, "Oh my god, he's the main villain. He's the main villain." But I've always said it'll be Cersei. He's going to die first, then it's going to be Cersei coming to attack.
Oh, that's the Arya's next target, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just don't feel like it's going to be anywhere near as interesting as the Night King. You know.
Maybe you should get your head out the fucking gutter, Phil.
No.
Alright, I will try.
The best part of this season is going to be Clegane Ball.
Yeah.
That's going to be like the much more interesting than the last episode.
Probably has to be daytime.
Yeah. I can't wait for Clegane Ball.
I just can't wait for
Yeah,
the next
that'll be
episode, even though I think the next episode could be quite. Well, no, it's an
I
hour
think
and a
next
half again,
episode
isn't
like
it?
a filler.
Yeah, but it's an
like
hour and a
an-
half. Surely it must have something in it.
Yeah, it's gonna build up, and it's gonna be like the biggest build up you've ever seen.
Yeah.
So the last two episodes are gonna be like a two-part kind of thing, aren't they?
I don't know, I've seen some pretty big build-ups.
That's his
Part
pipes.
so get ready for the biggest.
Oh, yeah.
God, that was really awkward
Oh,
there,
yeah,
guys.
it's fucking creepy.
Sorry.
Both of you there.
No one else anything else to talk about, or yeah, we done.
I just felt let down, Dave. I just felt
I
let
know.
down.
I know, Phil. Your parents were let down when you were born.
You fucking shit.
That's
Bye. Yeah, so I'm guessing that's this episode.
Okay.
First episode, guys. Well done.
again,
Thank you.
I'll give you all pats on the
Round
back.
of applause. Hope you all had a great time listening to us, and we'll see you next week.
See you then, guys.